How's it, grade 10s? So today we're going on to timelines from slides 42 to 43 from the PowerPoint Financial Maths. Now, this section is obviously called timelines because we're going to now deal with problems that are a little bit more complex than your normal, you invest something and then what is the final amount on it. Okay, so things are going to start changing here, and interest rates will change, and you'll take some money out and you'll put some money in, and some weird stuff. Okay, so let's have a look at the first example. It says a father invests 18,000 on his son's 14th birthday in order to give him a gift on his 21st birthday. When his son is 18, the father uses 6,000 of the investment for the son's matric holiday. How much money is available on the son's 21st birthday if the investment earned 13.5% per annum for the first 5 years and 15.1% per annum thereafter? So you can see there's a whole lot going on there. You're putting money in, you're taking money out, interest rates are changing and all of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw up a timeline. Okay, and that's what I've got here. So first of all, before I start filling in any information, I want to get the son's ages down. So on his 14th birthday, the father put some money in. So there we are, we're starting at 14. So that's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then 21st birthday. Okay, so the father invests 18,000 on his son's 14th birthday. So here the dad puts in 18,000 Rand into an account. Okay, and it goes on to say when his son is 18, the father uses 6,000 Rand. So over here, I'm going to subtract 6,000 Rand. Okay, of the investment for the son's matric holiday. How much money is available on the son's 21st birthday if the investment earned 13.5% for the first 5 years? So, first 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from there to there, it earned 13.5% per annum interest. Okay, and I'm just going to mark that so you can all see. So from here to there, it earned 13.5% per annum. It goes on to say, and then thereafter, it earned 15.1%. So 15.1% per annum. Okay, and I'm going to mark the years for that. So from here to here, it earned the 15.1%. Okay, so how do we tackle a question like this? So first of all, here's my first main event. Then there's my second one. So I'm going to work from here to here first. Okay, and remember, grade 10s, always an investment is compound interest. So I'm just going to look from here to here first. Okay, maybe I should just mark that for you so you guys can see. So from there to there. Okay, number 1. So A is equal to, P is equal to, I is equal to, N is equal to. Okay, so we want to work out our accumulated amount after that time period. We know what our principal amount is. It's 18,000. We know what our interest rate is. It's this blue one, which is 13.5 over 100. And now our time period. So we're going from here to there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's plug it into our formula. Okay, so I've just plugged everything into the formula, and now I can work out what this is on the calculator. So we've got 18,000, 1 plus 13.5 over 100 to the power of 4. 29,871 and 43 cents. Remember to round off to 2 decimal places, grade 10s. This is money that we're dealing with. Okay. So at that point, we've got 29,871 Rand and 43 cents. But now what happens at this point over here? The dad takes money out. So from this point to this point, we're going to have another calculation to do. Okay. So I'm just going to label from here to here is number 2. Okay. And for number 2, A is equal to, P is equal to, I is equal to, and N is equal to. So we're going to work out our accumulated amount. That's what we don't know. Now here comes the different part. We want to work out what is our principal amount. What are we actually starting off with here? So at this point, we know we had in the account this 29,871 and 43 cents. But what is the dad doing? He's taking out 6,000. So we need to subtract 6,000 from that amount. So we get a new principal amount. So it's 29,871.43 minus the 6,000. And we get 23,871.43. Okay, so that is our principal amount there now. Our interest rate is still the blue one, so that's still 13.5 over 100. And now our time period, we're going from here to here, so that is just 1 year. Okay, let's put this into our formula. Grade 10s, I'm not going to rewrite the formula again. I've already got it here, so I'm just using this formula here, plugging these values into there. So we get 23,871.43. 1 plus 13.5 over 100 to the power of 1. And we get an accumulated amount of to the power of 1, 27,094 Rand and 7 cents. Remember, round off to 2 decimal places. So from this one to this one, I can call step 3. So starting at this point here, we've got this 27,094 Rand and 7 cents. We know what our time period is going to be here. It's going to be 1, 2, but our interest rate has changed for this one. So A is equal to, P is equal to, I is equal to, and N is equal to. So the accumulated amount we're going to figure out. Our principal amount is whatever we had at this point here, which we worked out here. It's 27,094 and 7 cents. Our interest rate now is this orange one, which is 15.1 over 100. And now our time period is 2. Again, grade 10s, I'm using this formula here. So I'm just going to plug all of these into your compound interest formula. So we get A is equal to 27,094 and 7 cents. 1 plus 15 over 0.1 over 100 to the power of 2. And we get our final answer just by plugging it on the calculator. 27,094.07 plus to the power of 2. Right, so on his 21st birthday, the son will get 35,894 Rand and 25 cents after all of this. Okay. moving on to example 2. So I'm just going to read it to you first, and then we can have a look at a solution. And always, grade 10s with these things, there's always this long story that you have to read through. But the important thing is just to extract the information, put it onto your timeline, because you can see by doing that, it makes a lot more sense. Okay? So let's do the same for this example 2. So it goes on to say, Lucy is saving to go on an overseas holiday. When she is finished studying, at the beginning of grade 10, her mother opened an investment account for her and deposited 2,500 Rand. The interest was then 14.6% per annum. At the beginning of her first and third years, she deposited 4,000 and 5,000 respectively from her part-time job wages. At the end of her second year, the interest rate changed to 15.2% per annum. How much will she have to go overseas at the end of her 4-year degree? So, her mom deposits something at the beginning of grade 10. So, this is going to be grade 10, the first one. That would be grade 11, grade 12. Now, this here would be first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and then the end of her studies. Okay, so now let's have a look. Let's start filling some information in here. So it says, at the beginning of grade 10, her mother opened an investment account for her and deposited 2,500 Rand. So over here, the mom put in 2,500 Rand. Okay. It says there then the interest was then 14% per annum. I'm going to get to that in a second. At the beginning of her first and third years, she deposited 4,000 and 5,000 respectively. So at the beginning of her first year, which is here, she deposited 4,000 Rand. Okay. And then at the beginning of her third year, she deposited 5,000 Rand. Okay. From her part-time job wages. At the end of her second year, the interest rate changed. So at the end of her second year. Now, this is where you just got to be careful, grade 10s. This is the beginning of grade 10. All of that is grade 10. Then that's the beginning of grade 11. Beginning of grade 12. Okay, so just be careful with these timelines. It says here at the end of her second year. So here's the beginning of her second year. So the end of her second year would be this one over here. Okay, that's the beginning of the third year. So I'm just going to put a little dot there just to show that the interest rate changed at that point. And the interest rate changed here after to 15.2. And there's nothing else that's going to be changing. So from here to here, the initial interest rate was 14.6. So we got here 14.6% per annum. Then after this one, it changed to 15.2 per annum. Okay, and I just want to highlight these interest rates. So we know it runs from there to there. And then the second interest rate runs from there to there. Okay. And I think we have got all the information. So the first thing I'm going to look at is from here to here, because that's my next event. Okay. The next one I'm going to look at is from there to there. And then the last one would be from there to there. Okay. So let's look at this event 1. Because it's an investment, we're going to be using compound formula. Okay, our accumulated amount, we're going to figure that out. Our principal amount, 2,500 Rand was deposited. Okay, our interest rate for this number one section is this blue one, which is 14.6 over 100. And now our time period from there to there is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to use our compound formula. A is equal to P, 1 plus I to the power of N. I'm just going to substitute my values in here. We get an accumulated amount of 3,762 Rand and 65 cents. Okay. Now I'm going to look at event 2. Okay, we want to find out what our accumulated amount is at the end of this event 2. Now, here is where it gets tricky. So from here to here, we had in the bank account this 3,762 Rand and 65 cents. But what happened here? We added, or this girl added, an extra 4,000 Rand. So we've got this 3,762 Rand and 65 cents that was in the account, and we are now adding an extra 4,000. And that will give us 7,762 Rand and 65 cents. That's in the account there now. Okay. Our interest rate for this second part is still the blue one. So it's still 14.6 over 100. And our time period is going from here to here. So it is 1, 2 steps. Okay. I'm just going to plug these values into your compound formula. So A is equal to 7,762 Rand, 65 cents, 1 plus 14.6 over 100 to the power of 2. And we get an accumulated amount of, just put it there so everyone can see, to the power of 2. Okay. 10,194 and 81 cents. Okay, so now we know what's happening over here. So we're going to look at step 3 now. A is equal to, P is equal to, I is equal to, N is equal to. Okay, so the accumulated amount we're going to figure out. Now, at this step over here, we know what's in our account. It's 10,194 Rand and 81 cents. But what are we doing at that step? We are adding an extra 5,000 Rand into the account. So we need to add 5,000 here. And we get our principal amount is now 15,194 and 81 cents. Okay, our interest rate from here to here is now the orange one. So that is 15.2 over 100. And our time period is, going from there to there, is 2. Plug these values into your formula. And we can put this on the calculator. Okay. And we get a final amount of 20,165 Rand and 9 cents. So she will have 20,165 Rand and 9 cents to go overseas with. Okay, so it's not too bad, grade 10s, if you break it down like this. into your timelines, okay? And even like your little sections like this. Later on, I will show you a more advanced way where you don't have to write all of this out. You can just do it in one line. But I would much rather you guys do it like this for now, so you understand what is going on and how we break the timelines up. Okay. So for homework, I would like you to do exercise 12.8 for me, please. Thank you.